Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are having a really good week. Instagram added a new feature on their stories. You can ask people questions directly. You see it? Yeah, and then you ask people questions right here. And so what happens from my perspective is that I get a whole bunch of questions and then I can answer them. If you follow my story, you see questions and I was answering them. I got 70 questions and I was not expecting that. So I thought I would create a YouTube video answering some of those questions. So very first question, Dax asks, did you have to overcome some fears when you decided to start posting videos? I can't even tell you guys what it used to be like to film videos in my bedroom, at my parents' house. When I first started filming videos in 2012, I would sit in my bedroom with maybe my wall or dresser behind me. And I remember I always had to have a stack of toilet paper beside me that I would be wiping my forehead sweat every 30 seconds because I would be nervous, I would start getting heated, and most of the time I only had 5 minutes of footage and they were all in 30-second increments because I would talk, get hot, dab my sweat, maybe dab my underarm sweat, and put it all together and make it look concise. If you see people posting YouTube videos, honestly, most of the time we're hella nervous the whole time we're filming, and if you think that you can't start a YouTube channel or create content because you be more nervous than the rest of us, no, we're all nervous. We're all in the same boat. Cameras make all of us cringe and get nervous and sweat. So this person asks, so I'm going to cross out their name, says, I'm currently in a relationship, but I think I have feelings for another guy I've met online. Gonna protect his anonymousness for the obvious reason. If you are young, because based on your picture, you look pretty young, and this is a bit hypocritical coming from me because I started dating Chris when I was 18 and we've been dating ever since. But I would say unless you're with someone that you're really into and they're really into you and you're both really into the idea of being with each other and you're young, if you're not in that situation, date around. Date somebody, and then if you find that you're more interested in someone else, it's far better to break up with that person and be honest with them than to cheat on them. Carly wants to know, do you guys, he means me and Chris, consider settling things officially, getting married? Chris and I definitely see ourselves getting married. We talk about kind of getting married in a smaller setting, maybe going to City Hall and getting married, maybe when we're 28, 29, 30. Both of us are kind of in a position in our life where we're why do people spend so much money on weddings? People spend tens of thousands of dollars on one day, and then they have a honeymoon, and then they're newly married. Maybe they move into an apartment or a condo or a house or something, and then they have so much debt. Both of us want none of that. If anything, it'll be a tiny wedding with very close family and friends, under 20, and we'll just spend the rest of the money on a great honeymoon because it should be about you and your partner, not everyone who's coming to the wedding and creating a party. I feel some people who have weddings just want to create a big party for their friends and forget about the fact that it's an event for them and they might want to actually enjoy it. Yasser wants to know, why did you lose so much weight? You were so much hotter when you were bigger. Well, it's a really good thing I didn't lose weight for you. I guess I mean that with half shade, half not shade. Obviously when anyone is going through any kind of a body transformation, they're not entirely doing it for themselves. Obviously, to an extent, you're doing it for your appearance, and your appearance is for other people, or a mirror, if you have a lot of those. I first wanted to lose weight, first and foremost, because when I moved back home, I would start noticing that, because basically Chris and I lived in the basement, and my parents were it was in my parents' house, and obviously they lived in the upper level, but also had their life on the main level. And so we were constantly going upstairs, whether I was going upstairs to my original bedroom or going back downstairs or going back upstairs to the kitchen for dinner. And I just started noticing that whenever I would go up a flight of stairs, I was out of breath. And one day, Chris and I made a trip to Ottawa, which is where we went to university. And I was chatting with my old roommate who knew me for many, many years. And she was just saying, yeah, I think you peaked in second or third year university. And it kind of got me thinking oh, okay, so it's not all in my head. Maybe I am a little bit out of shape. And so for me, it was just energy levels. I just didn't have a high stamina. I was constantly out of breath. I wasn't as physically active as I used to be. And that's not to say that someone who was my size couldn't be active because by no means was I overweight. For me and my body type and my body structure, my weight was just holding me back. For a lot of other people could be larger than I was and have a much higher stamina. So it's just me personally and what worked for me. Pink Creep wants to know, boxers or briefs? I used to always say boxer briefs, and I think I still stay pretty strong with boxer briefs, but lately I've been finding something really sexy about like white tighty whities. Like, I don't know. I just think there's something really sexy about it. Maybe it's the whole like Calvin Klein thing coming back, and the Kardashians were doing ad campaigns, Bieber was doing ad campaigns, and I was kind of looking at the images and I was like, yeah, there is something really sexy about like a really tight pair of white underwear, of like white briefs. So far boxer briefs, but I think I'm gonna like slip my way into some briefs. Gasly wants to know, are you enjoying the increased thirst levels owing to your shirtless pics? You should be. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I am. It's so weird. I don't think I've ever talked about this, but I used to have a Daily Booth account. For all my OGs out there, you'll know what Daily Booth is. It was basically Instagram, but on a computer, right? Like it was a website. Like you went to it, you uploaded. Most people would upload their like MacBook selfies, and I didn't really know you guys in high school because I only really made this channel at the end of high school. But no one really thought I was attractive. If you were to like separate people in my grade, like the hot guys, like guys that girls had crushes on and all that stuff, I would have not fallen in any of those categories. I was kind of dorky, quirky, a little weird. I kind of got along with a lot of people, but by no means was I the guy that people had crushes on. So when I made a Daily Booth account, people started commenting like, oh my God, you're so cute, or like da-da-da-da-da. And like, it was the first time that I'd ever received those kinds of comments before. So I'd be lying if I said those comments don't boost my ego a little bit. You'd be lying if you would say that those comments wouldn't boost your ego. So yeah, I am enjoying the comments. Do I require those comments? No, I have a boyfriend that compliments me daily, so it's fine. But yeah, they're nice. And one thing I really appreciate about you guys, and I think this is because I have a slightly older audience, like 18 to 24, 25 to 34, and then a smaller subset of like a 35 to 44 audience. You guys are really respectful in the way that you compliment me. Like I just see a lot of like teen heartthrobs on Instagram, and like girls say some crazy things to them. But you guys are really respectful in how you compliment me, so I always really appreciate that. Guz the Kirstro wants to know, why aren't there more shirtless Chris pics? He's gorgeous, you are too. We were at the Toronto Islands like 5 days ago, and we were taking some pictures. He took a picture of me, had my shirt off, and then I was like, all right, I want to take a picture of you. And I was taking a picture of him, and I was like, button down your buttons. I'm trying to slowly encourage him to like post more slightly scandalous pictures. You know, I mean, I think it's something he hasn't done in like the longest time, and I think he's becoming a lot more confident with his body, and so I'm trying to like push him in that direction. So if you ever see pictures of Chris online and he's like showing a little more skin, make sure you like the picture and comment on it. Give him a little social media ego boost. Spisha wants to know, what's something most people don't know about you? Maybe you guys do know this about me because I've made food blog posts before, but cooking is actually a huge passion of mine, and I don't mean in the sense of like I can make a mean meatball marinara. I like experimenting with different recipes, and later in university I started to make a lot more plant-based foods. Just because I was a student, I was really broke. Chicken breast was really expensive, steak was really expensive. And so I was like, okay, maybe I should start shifting towards like a bit more of a plant-based diet because I'm finding that stuff at the grocery store is a bit more inexpensive. And I had to learn how to be a little more creative with my meals. If I was making like a veggie chili, for instance, like how do you make chili without ground beef and still make it taste good? So I've kind of like played around with recipes. I worked at a Food Network actually for a couple years as a junior promo editor. So I was constantly watching food shows like all day long. So food is a huge passion of mine. I love cooking, and honestly, I think like a low-key dream of mine would be to work on a network doing some kind of like a food show. Like it doesn't need to be some like huge step into the kitchen with Mikey, but like just anything where I'm involved with food and the camera. I think that would be a really fun thing for me. And I think it's something that I want to do sometime in my life, whether it's later in my 20s or my 30s. I want to do something like that where I'm in front of the camera and I'm making some kind of food or cocktails. I don't know. I love food. I think food just brings people together, especially since I'm Italian. I was raised on the premise that food brings people together. So that would be really cool. And that's something I think most people don't know about me. I think most people know I cook. Most people maybe don't know that it's like a huge passion of mine. Rover Harley wants to know, what is your best advice to keep fit with such a busy life? HIIT. Do high intensive interval training. I was about to get it wrong. Basically what HIIT is, well, first of all, what cardio is, what most people do when they do cardio is they're running at one speed for a longer period of time, whether that's outside, whether that's on a treadmill, whether it's on an elliptical or a bike. You know, you're doing one form of cardio, one speed for a long period of time. Even if, you know, you change up the speed a little bit halfway through, you're pretty much doing a consistent speed the whole time. What intensive interval training is you're doing it for a much shorter period of time. You're constantly changing the speed. And so what I do with HIIT, I go into the gym and I do 15 minutes. I do 1 minute of walking, 1 minute of running, 1 minute of sprinting, and then I do that 5 times for 15 minutes. And I actually am pretty privileged. I have a gym, a chain gym that I have a membership to just downstairs. And there's a larger version of that gym just down the street. So if I'm ever in a rush, I just go to that gym downstairs, and I could be in this apartment, leaving, and then back in this apartment within 25 minutes and still get a pretty awesome workout in. So that's really great. But if you have a gym anywhere near you, I think 15 minutes to do an exercise in 15 minutes is pretty incredible. And one of the benefits of HIIT is that over time, you'll actually start to increase your metabolism. And in the short term, you'll be increasing your heart rate. So you'll burn more calories throughout the day. So the goal of HIIT is not to burn calories. Chances are when you look at your calorie count on the treadmill afterwards, you'll probably only see anywhere from 130 to 200 calories, which isn't a lot for a cardio workout. But over the whole span of the day, your heart rate will be increased, so you'll burn more calories. Oh, remember I was telling you guys that I get nervous in videos and I start sweating? Guys, we're 6 years into this channel and I'm still sweating. Unicon wants to know, when was the last time you tried something new? Last night? And maybe I'll talk about that some other time. Rossi Posse wants to know, how do you deal with all the haters out there because just ignoring them doesn't work? You're right, just ignoring them doesn't work. But for me personally, if there's haters on this YouTube channel, I'm making a certain amount of money for every 1,000 views, so the haters are literally paying my bills. So I don't know, that's the way I look at it. You know what, if you want to give me attention, sure, it's fine. You're paying my bills at the end of the day. Greek on Fleek wants to know, are you and your boyfriend in an open relationship? Chris and I have been together for 5 years. We've known each other for about 5.5. I think any couple who has been together that long has at the very least had a conversation about it, or one partner has at least talked to their friends about their interest in talking to their partner about it. I will say that Chris and I have done more than just talk about it. So we're actually thinking about starting a podcast soon where we talk about those kinds of topics. And we talked about doing it on this channel. We talked about doing it on Instagram, like Instagram Live. We talked about doing it more in a blog format, because I have a blog as well. But we kind of discussed that if we want to do something like this, we want to start a new platform, like a podcast, because it'll be equal between the both of us. If that's something that remotely interests you, we're thinking about it. So let me know in the comments below if that's something, those are topics that you want to know, like the nitty gritty of a relationship. Because we've got so many stories from our relationship. So if that's something you're into, let me know down below. Cove says, remember that video with the toothbrush from 2010? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, so that is gonna be it. Thank you guys for sending through all those questions on Instagram. If you're not following me already, you should follow me at Mike Rizzi. I'll maybe do some more of these Q&As on my Instagram, and then if I have an excess of questions, maybe I'll save those for a video just like this. I love you guys. Make sure to comment, rate, subscribe, but most importantly, smile. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.